Rooted in the tradition of Italian craftsmanship, Bottega Veneta has always been celebrated for its discreet leather goods. But with fresh perspective, it has recently become one of the world's hottest luxury brands. This is the story of Bottega Veneta as told by thevintagebar.com. I have done my research on Bottega Veneta, and this by far has to be the most interesting story for a brand that hasn't been around very long at all. Bottega Veneta has truly been through some things, and it shows through their craftsmanship, and I admire them all the more now that I know their story. Bottega Veneta was founded by Michele Tadei and Renzo Giangiaro in 1966. Based in Vicenza, Italy, it directly translates to Venetian shop. Originally started as a leather goods store, Bottega Veneta has focused on creating high quality, timeless pieces since its very beginning. When Bottega Veneta began manufacturing, its sewing machines were not adequate enough to work with most leathers. As they were sourced from the local region, Veneto is in northeastern Italy, which was famous for ready-to-wear, their needles were not long enough to accommodate the thicker leather typically used for handbags and accessories. To account for this, Bottega Veneta had to substitute finer, more supple leather, most commonly known as Nappa leather. To reinforce and strengthen it, Bottega Veneta developed a technique, an innovative technique, I shall say, known as intrecciato. In the late 1960s, it began cutting the leather into strips and weaving them together. And intrecciato is Italian for intertwined or braided, making it much more durable. Intrecciato has since become a signature look of the house and contributing to an understated but recognizable look for Bottega Veneta. But Bottega Veneta has never been flashy, ever. Amidst all the noise in the fashion industry, Bottega Veneta exudes a quiet confidence. It takes what it describes as a stealth approach to luxury, asserting when your own initials are enough. So instead of a logo, it signs its pieces by how they are made, and no two pieces of Bottega Veneta are the same. With only an interior label, Bottega Veneta relies on its fine craftsmanship and materials to set it apart from other brands, and it truly does. Its distinctive yet subtle leather goods made Bottega Veneta quite popular in the 70s. But as luxury became more about excess, Bottega Veneta's sales rapidly declined, and both Tadei and Giangiaro eventually left. Laura Maltado, Tadei's ex-wife, took over. In 2000, she hired British fashion designer Giles Deacon to revive the house. Through his trend-driven 2001 ready-to-wear collection that included lizard skin headphones and skirts printed with pornographic images, was released to much critical acclaim. Deacon was replaced after Kering, then known as Printemps Rideau, took over Bottega Veneta and integrated it into its luxury division of the Gucci group. Tom Ford personally recruited Thomas Mayer, appointing him as the house's new creative director in June of the same year. Y'all see how all of these brands go together? We're just in one conglomerate. We're just under Kering right now. Do y'all see how all of this works together? People are saying that Gucci and Balenciaga are competitors. They are not. They actually work together. Balenciaga, Gucci, Bottega Veneta, they're all a part. YSL, they're all a part of the same conglomerate. As far as their creative directors, Bottega Veneta has always functioned as a team. Valuing the brand's technique, its designers have shown a deep mutual respect for its artisans. Though Bottega Veneta has hired creative directors, most notably Thomas Mayer and Daniel Lee, they have both led by deferring to the expertise of its craftsmen. Thomas Mayer was born at the edge of the Black Forest in Pforzheim, Germany. I'm going to put that right across here because I'm not, my German is non-existent, child. Though he was from a family of architects, Mayer did not become one himself. He had always been interested in architecture, but if he had pursued a career in it, he would have been expected to take over his father's firm, and that was not something that he wanted. As Mayer believed the town was too small, it deterred him. Not to mention, he had also never been good at math. Instead, he continued his studies at the Chambre Syndicale de la Haute Couture. Y'all should know this from the YSL story. In Paris, the same school that was attended by Karl Lagerfeld and Yves Saint Laurent. Following his education, Mayer held design roles at Guy Laroche, Sonia Rykiel, Revillon, and Hermes. Yes, Hermes. At Hermes, he was mentored by Claude Brouet. We hadn't studied Hermes yet, so I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. The creative director of women's ready-to-wear at the time, she advised him, luxury is something you love to feel, to touch, to admire. Luxury to me is not something you can see from a mile away. It doesn't show. And girl was right. She was right. When Mayer took the helm at Bottega Veneta in 2001, he brought her philosophy with him. Child, I had to switch glasses, honey. Let's take this focus on me. Focus, baby. Focus. Yes. I had to change glasses, child. Them things were sliding off my face. Child, back to the story. Upon his arrival at Bottega Veneta, Thomas Mayer had failed to keep up with the 90s fashion trends and was nearly bankrupt. Feeling the house had lost its identity, giving in to come and go fads and showy logos, Mayer set out to restore. He stated, and I quote, "It is by protecting and honoring our past that we keep on growing." And Mayer is right. Mayer immediately re-implemented Bottega Veneta's 4 core values. Baby, if you got your pen, this is some good stuff. You better write this down. Fine quality materials, extraordinary craftsmanship, contemporary functionality, and timeless design. He stripped away every unnecessary element, returning the house to its minimalistic artisanal roots, specifically its intrecciato technique. So from 2001 to 2005, we waited, and now the ready-to-wear collection is ready to be presented. Mayer instead placed all his focus on leather bags and accessories, and his first design was a top-handled tote called the Cabat. Woven with double-faced leather and left unlined, it looked just as beautiful on the inside as it did on the outside. With no logos, no hardware, and no embellishments, not even a closure, honey. Mayer had reduced the bag to its functionality. The Cabat was simple, yet incredibly complicated, taking 2 full days to make, not including the years it took to train. Despite its $6,000 price tag, it quickly became Bottega Veneta's top-selling item. The Cabat is still in production today, but only 500 are released every season, and they are only sold in official Bottega Veneta boutiques. In the same collection, Mayer delved into Bottega Veneta's archives, recreating a clutch from 1978. Baby, I need to get that because that was my year right there. That was my year. That was my year. Say it. Say it. That was my year. That was my year, honey. While he kept its rounded box silhouette and interlaced exterior, he added a knot-shaped clasp and renamed it the Knot. Ever since, it has been released in limited editions and quantities, solidifying its status as a signature Bottega Veneta bag. Following his seminal bags, Mayer used intrecciato on everything from bracelets to dog bowls, diversifying Bottega Veneta's product range. In 2006, recognizing the importance and fragility of the house's heritage, In 2006, recognizing the importance and the fragility of the house's heritage, Mayer also opened an entire school devoted to the technique called the Scuola del Pelletteria. It teaches the house's next generation of craftsmen and preserves the tradition that defines the brand. By reintroducing Intrecciato, Thomas Mayer pulled the house out of debt and into profitability, making it a reference in luxury fashion. In 2012, it surpassed the $1 billion in sales mark and became Kering's second largest label after Gucci. Mayer's success was followed by consecutive periods of negative growth. He had proven to be a consistent, albeit somewhat safe, designer. And after Mayer's Fall/Winter 2018 collection, a combination of men and women's wear runway, which took place in New York instead of Milan, as he had just designed and opened Bottega Veneta's largest flagship store on Madison Avenue, his departure was announced. At a time of many shakeups in the industry, Riccardo Tisci had just replaced Christopher Bailey at Burberry, and Virgil Abloh had just replaced Kim Jones at Louis Vuitton. There had been some speculation that Mayer would be next. However, his exit was rather abrupt. So in June 2018, Kering CEO François-Henri Pinault released an official statement declaring the tradition and craftsmanship excellence that many luxury brands have relied upon for decades is no longer enough. The new luxury customers, the millennials or the generation set that follows, can care little for the idea of brand heritage. Mayer had built his 17-year career at Bottega Veneta on those very ideals. Though these types of announcements are usually made by the brand and designer together, Mayer never released a comment of his own, and his removal was immediate. 2 weeks later, Mayer's eponymous label, known for its knits and swimwear, ceased all operations. Kering had also ended its partnership with it. The mystery surrounding Thomas Mayer's replacement did not last long. Just 2 days after he left, Daniel Lee was appointed as Bottega Veneta's creative director. For decades, Bottega Veneta's principal sales had been leather goods, accounting for approximately 85% of its revenue, while all other products, including ready-to-wear, amounted to only 15%. Lee, who had worked as the director of ready-to-wear at Celine, was brought on to revitalize the Italian label's clothing line. An anomaly, the then 32-year-old millennial designer did not have any social media accounts or friends within the industry, and Lee was virtually unknown, but about to become fashion's boy wonder. Daniel was raised in Yorkshire, England, where his entire family still resides today. Growing up, he dreamt of becoming a dancer, only to discover that his feet were rather flat. Like a duck, baby. Just like mine, like a duck. Quack, quack. Though he was expected to become a doctor or a lawyer, he happened upon design when he decided to move to London. There, Lee studied his bachelor's and master's degrees at the esteemed Central St. Martin's, during which he concentrated on knitwear and completed internships at Maison Margiela's and Balenciaga. Some names we know, huh? After his graduation, Lee briefly worked at Donna Karan before he accepted a position at Celine in 2012. When Phoebe Philo resigned just before Christmas in 2017, many suspected Lee would replace her as creative director. However, he left himself in January. He had planned to take a year off to travel and reassess, but his trip was cut short when François-Henri Pinault called. Lee only made it as far as Japan, and his takeover at Bottega Veneta was effective July 1st, 2018. When Lee joined the Bottega Veneta family, the Spring/Summer 2019 collection was already almost complete. Eager to get started on pre-Fall 2019, his first season as the house's creative director, Lee edited Spring/Summer to the essential. Though to finish it all, he did include a couple of new designs, most notably the pouch. Inspired by a Bottega Veneta bag carried by Lauren Hutton in American Gigolo, the pouch is a squishy, oversized clutch that is crafted of butter soft leather. We call it the dumpling bag. With no strap and a cumbersome shape, Bottega Veneta's merchandising team was so concerned the pouch would not sell that it ordered a very limited amount for stores at first. However, what the pouch lacked in functionality, it made up for in aesthetics. Undeniably photogenic, Rosie Huntington Whitley posted the pouch on her Instagram feed 39 times in 3 months. It appealed to today's social media crazed consumers. The pouch instantly sold out and its wait list grew by leaps and bounds. It dethroned the Cabat as the top-selling bag in Bottega Veneta's history and was named the most wanted product of 2019. Today, the pouch is available in a variety of colors and materials, from every shade of beige to trecciato to metallic wire even. Not Lee's only design to earn cult-like status, the stretch sandal and the cassette bag have also been extremely popular. In December 2019, a year and a half after he was enlisted at Bottega Veneta, Denieccee was nominated for 4 awards by the British Fashion Council, including Brand of the Year and Designer of the Year. Though he had only shown 2 collections, and one of them was not even in the stores yet, Lee won them all, becoming the first designer in the ceremony's 30-year history to take home that many in one night. Since Lee accepted the position, he has sought to honor the quiet craft of the Italian house, but to also bring an injection of modernity, turning up the volume. Like Mayer, he refuses to create a logo and continues to make almost every design in trecciato. However, he has reinterpreted the traditional technique, blowing it up and padding it to keep it relevant. Lee's fresh perspective has reached the millennial customers that Mayer missed, increasing revenue 2.2% by the end of 2019. Despite his immediate success, Lee still feels nervous. He has been known to have said, "I feel very responsible for a huge amount of money and a large amount of people. I always had the ambition of getting to this point, but now I have so much more to prove." While mourning the loss of Phoebe Philo at Celine, a tribute page was made on Instagram called @OldCeline. It honors Philo's 10-year tenure at the French fashion house, showcasing the minimalistic uniform she created for women. For 5 years, Denieccee worked under Philo. In the wake of the joint departure from Celine, he was named Bottega Veneta's creative director, and she went on an indefinite hiatus. Philophiles looked to Lee to fill her void, anticipating his designs. Following the debut of his Fall-Winter 2019 collection, which included Philo-esque simplistic pieces imbued with novelty, chain embellished knits, and clavicle exposed dresses, at NewBottega was started. A fan account run by Laura Rossi, a fashion design student at Polimoda in Florence. It celebrates a post-Mayer Bottega Veneta, archiving product close-ups, campaign images, runway looks, and styling by celebrities and influencers, boosting over 300,000 followers and counting. It provides them with a sense of hope for the future of fashion. Child, let me follow at NewBottega right now, cause I need to see something. I said 300,000. 921,000. And I'm following. So, yeah. In June 2019, Kering appointed Bartolomeo Rongon as CEO of Bottega Veneta. The company announced the opening of a third 64,583 square foot manufacturing site in Deauville and opened its first store in Miami, the first under direction of Denieccee. By the end of 2019, again, as sales of Gucci started to deflate, Bottega Veneta turned into Kering's next rising star. On January 6, 2021, Bottega Veneta created a buzz in the luxury industry by unexpectedly shutting down all of its official social media accounts, and its Instagram had 2.5 million followers. The move was followed by the creation of a digital journal called Issued by Bottega, relying on its clients, influencers, collaborators, and fans to spread the news. Monthly fashion shows were replaced by private stage trunk shows called salons, and the fashion house shows were curated with industrial setups and hip-hop guest stars. But on November the 10th, 2021, Bottega Veneta and Denieccee announced Lee would be leaving his post as creative director in a joint decision to end their collaboration. Shortly after, Kering appointed Matthew Blasey, former design director at Bottega Veneta, as his new creative director, and is expected to maintain Daniellee's new Bottega style. I have truly learned a lot about Bottega Veneta. A bulk of the information did come from the vintage bar, but there is other information sprinkled inside of this fashion history lesson. I definitely love the fact how we were able to delve into the lives of the two creative directors and where the inspiration came from for Denieccee. We also know that there was a rift somewhere in the midst with Denieccee and Bottega Veneta, and the Kering group was just not having it. And it was an amicable split, and that Matthew Blasey is the new creative director and running the reins. I am excited to see what is to come with Bottega Veneta. I have a newfound respect for them, for all that they have done. There's some other small things that I did not mention that are worth mentioning. In 2006, Bottega Veneta launched a 3-year tuition-free training program in partnership with the 4th-century-old Vicenza School of Arts and Crafts. Bottega Veneta launched the Women's Mountain Cooperatives in 2011, independent artisanal leather workshops for unemployed women of the Alto Astico and Polzina mountain community. Bottega Veneta opened a first manufacturing site in Alta Villa Vicentina. I'll just say it that way. I know that's wrong, but that's how I'm saying it. In 2011, and a second in Malo in 2012. In 2011, the Bottega Veneta School of Master Leather Makers created a 3-month postgraduate course with the University of Venezia in Venice, Italy, to train students to advance handbag design and product development. Bottega Veneta has definitely been stimulating the economy with jobs, and as well as pushing women to go back to school and further their education. I respect that about this brand. I also respect the fact that they have hustled and grinded, have stayed true from the very beginning. I love the slogan, when your own initials are enough, and that is very, very true. That means you be who you are and not someone else. Bottega Veneta is a stand-up type of brand. I respect that. I hope that you guys have brought it all together, because a lot of the names in this fashion history lesson were definitely in previous lessons. I am just amazed that Thomas Mayer went to the same school that Karl Lagerfeld and Yves Saint Laurent went to. Not at the same time, of course, but followed in their footsteps. And I am just super excited to see what's to come for the Kering group as a whole. Next week, join me at the same time, Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, honey, as we close out the Kering group with Balenciaga, baby. You do not want to miss this one. Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone.